Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're going to dive into something really special, the spiritual practice of worshiping Lord Murugan. You might wonder, in our busy modern lives, how can an ancient ritual actually bring us things like courage, wisdom, and that feeling of divine protection? Well, let's find out together.
Let's kick things off with this really powerful promise. It's from a sacred hymn, and just listen to it. Once you come in front of me, you have crossed the ocean of painful day-to-day life. Wow, that really speaks to something we all feel, right? That deep hope of getting past our daily struggles and finding a real lasting peace.
All right, so who is the deity behind this incredible promise? Let's get to know the god of divine victory himself, Lord Murugan. Lord Murugan is revered all over India and really across the world. And he has so many names. You'll hear him called Kartikeya, Subramanya, Skanda. And the thing is, these aren't just different labels. Nope. Each name actually highlights a unique part of his divine power and his personality. So at his very core, this is what Lord Murugan represents. Look at this list: courage, wisdom, victory. When you worship him, you're doing more than just praying to a deity. What you're really doing is inviting this incredible energy into your own life. Think about it: the courage to face whatever's holding you back, the wisdom to see things clearly, and that feeling of divine protection guiding you along the way. Okay, so here's what's really amazing about all this. It's so personal and so accessible. You don't need some huge, grand temple to do this. Seriously. All you need is a little bit of genuine devotion, and you can transform a small, quiet corner of your own home into a truly sacred and powerful space. Setting up your altar is actually a pretty simple but really intentional 4-step process. So first up, you find a quiet, clean spot. If you can, pick a corner in the northeast or east. That's considered a really significant direction. Then you place an idol or even just a picture of Murugan there. This gives your devotion a focus point. Next, you'll want to purify the area. Just sprinkle a little turmeric water to cleanse the energy. And finally, you just gather up all the items you'll need for the ritual. See? Every step is about mindfully creating that sacred space. All right, so here are the key things you'll want to have ready for the puja. And believe me, every single item here is packed with symbolic meaning. For example, the fresh red flowers. They represent your heartfelt devotion. The incense sticks, well, they purify the air and kind of help purify your thoughts too. And that ghee lamp, that's all about pushing away darkness and welcoming in that divine light. Okay, your sacred space is all set up. So now let's get to the heart of the practice. We're going to walk through a simple but totally authentic 9-step puja that you can do right in your own home.
So these first 5 steps, they're all about preparation and purification. We're talking both on the outside and on the inside. You kick things off by setting a personal intention that's called a sankalpa, which makes the whole ritual really meaningful for you. Then, you light the lamp to bring in that divine light. You gently clean the idol as a sign of respect, apply the sacred paste as a blessing, and then you offer fresh flowers. And yeah, especially red ones like hibiscus. They're a favorite of Lord Murugan, and they're just a beautiful symbol of your devotion.
Okay, from here, the ritual gets even deeper. Step 6 is chanting mantras. This creates these powerful spiritual vibrations. Then you make a food offering called naivedyam, which is really a gesture of gratitude. After that, you perform the arti with camphor. It's this beautiful, symbolic act of surrender. And the whole thing finishes with just a few moments of silent prayer. It's your time to connect with that feeling of gratitude and find some real inner peace.
Now, when we talked about chanting, this is the mantra, Om Saravana Bhava. And it is so much more than just a chant. It's believed that every single syllable holds divine energy. When you recite it, you're invoking protection, strength, and the grace of Lord Murugan himself.
This practice isn't just for general spiritual well-being. It can also be a huge source of support during some of life's biggest milestones. So let's look at how you can focus the worship of Lord Murugan on really specific intentions, like getting blessings for a marriage or for having a child. So, for example, if someone is facing delays or obstacles in getting married, there are specific rituals you can do to seek blessings. A simple one is just lighting a ghee lamp every day while you're chanting. But for a more intensive approach, there's a 48-day ritual. This involved lighting 6 lamps, placed on a bed of tarta dal, which is pretty specific, in front of an image of Murugan with his consorts, Vali and Deviyanai. Then you'd recite specific hymns. It's a really focused way to ask for grace for a harmonious union. And it's a similar idea for couples who are hoping for a child. There are some really powerful practices that are believed to help. For instance, some people will perform Shasti Viridam, which is a special fast, or they might donate a silver spear or a cradle as an offering. And there are even specific hymns you can chant from a text composed by Pamban Swamigal, all with the intention of receiving the blessing of a child. So, what are the actual tangible benefits you can get from this practice? And, just as important, what are the key rules to follow to make sure your worship is done right? Let's get into it. I mean, just look at this list. This huge range of benefits really speaks to the challenges we all face today, doesn't it? We're talking about removing fear and confusion, giving you real courage and inner strength. Devotees believe that regular worship helps you build confidence, make better decisions, and even improve concentration. It's seen as a way to bring harmony into your relationships and protect your home, but also, and this is huge, to really enhance your own spiritual growth and emotional balance. So, here's the bottom line with the do's and don'ts. Your mindset and your environment, they are just as important as the ritual itself. All the do's, keeping the space clean, offering fresh flowers, chanting with devotion, they're all about creating a state of purity and respect. It just makes you more open to that divine connection. And the don'ts, well, they're common sense, really. They're about avoiding things like anger or stress during the puja, because that kind of negative energy can just block the whole experience. It's all about keeping things sacred and making your practice truly effective. So, we want to leave you with a final thought to mull over. In a world that is just filled with constant noise that's so fast-paced and chaotic, what kind of power could you find in just a few moments of a quiet, devoted ritual? Maybe, just maybe, these ancient practices hold the key to finding the profound peace and strength that we're all looking for in our very modern lives.